if you're saying stupid things on Twitter, Twitter is the most public thing on earth.
Yeah.
Everyone can see it. Everyone has a permanent record of what you said.
Hmm.
Um,
You can't delete that shit. It's always there.
you can't undo it.
Yeah.
You're stupid for posting something like that there.
That's why you don't have a Twitter account. You just
No,
don't
but yeah,
create
but
one.
100% on you if
The
you
thing-
did that.
the thing
Now,
is about
you can't change and be a better person if you said something controversial years ago, right? People change.
Yeah.
Um,
so yeah,
It's just that you getting shit is totally like understandable because someone just found this thing about you and they didn't know, and they're gonna question you about it.
so what do you think about cancel culture? Because a lot of people are dipping off of Twitter because of
Yeah,
that.
well, good for them. Twitter is very cancer.
Yeah, Twitter is not really
'Cause
one of
imagine-
those platforms that are like encouraged to use,
No, but
honestly.
the thing is, like, imagine, say, like you're like 15 or whatever, like you don't know anything, you're relatively new to the scene of
Yeah.
you're just discovering yourself, and you just say some like really outrageous shit. You don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna be put in your place. You're not gonna go to prison.
And then
Yeah.
15. Well, that's
It depends on what you
And-
say.
and
but
on-
yeah.
like
And
in terms of like literal prison, no. But in terms of like, say you have a job and then you get kicked out of the fucking job,
then you're not a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, I mean, like, say for example, James Gunn, for example, he had a whole thing for like 15 years ago.
Right.
Granted, he's not 15 when he did it, but like he was still, it's relatively old.
Yeah, and he
At a
said
time.
sorry. Everyone vouched for him, and they ended up forgiving him.
Yeah, but he still got
You
the
still
whole
got f-
movie, his
yeah.
whole job basically got taken down.
And then he got it
Everyone
back.
got pissed off.
Like, that's true.
Yeah,
That
because he was lucky.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was lucky he got
Because
it back.
not everyone is as fortunate as as him. Yeah.
I
And
think
I'll give you
most
an
of the
example.
people that aren't as fortunate are often more responsible or not owning up to their mistakes. Because the thing is, Gunn owned up to his mistakes, and that's why they had to hire him back. He was obviously a changed person. He was not the terrible person that his previous.
No, the studios hired him back because they were getting shit from the public.
Yeah,
they'll
and
say,
but
like,
that's
get
not
over it,
because-
you know?
If the public wasn't involved, they wouldn't have hired him back.
But that's
Honestly,
what-
that's exactly what I've said. If the public hasn't gotten involved, they would never have hired him back.
Sure, but the public is cancel culture. When we talk about cancel culture, are we talking about the companies or are we talking just about the masses of people? Because I think we're talking about the masses of people, in
Yeah.
which case they do what they want. They're just random people. And
Yeah, but
cancel culture is not inherently bad.
the
it
thing is
just
about
is.
it though is because this whole mob mentality, and because companies often rely on people for the
Yeah,
revenue.
they're gonna just go for whoever screams the loudest, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you'll buy that? Okay, sold."
Well, yeah, exactly. So like the same thing with Kevin, like say for example, Kevin Hart, for example, he lost his job as the host of the Oscars because of some tweet he did ages
Yeah.
ago. And so like see like in that perspective, because regardless of all of the movements said that Kevin Hart, like all the public's screaming about like Kevin Hart's tweets like old as shit, and he really apologized for many times. He said
He
it
still
as
got
well.
hammered. He
He
still
still
got hammered. though.
he still got kicked out of his role as the host. In fact, he even stepped down from it because like, yo, this is some bullshit. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with this. So like, and that like that's why I think in cancel culture is like such a toxic thing,
Mhm.
because yes, it's in a way it could take down some big conglomerate leader like some like Jeff Bezos character or like a Harvey Weinstein. But most often enough, a lot of people would do the same thing to like just average Joes.
I
super-
really doubt that any of the innocent people don't get their due diligence back. I think that, and once again, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but cancel culture is not like good or bad. It just is. So there's nothing really like new about it. Like the French beheaded a king at some point because they were fed up with monarchy.
Yeah, because he
Like,
deserved it. He was robbing his own people.
People manifesting their opinions and the power of the masses can overpower institutions. That's always been a thing.
But if the institution is corrupt, if the problem is in the root of the institution that you say, obviously they're going to get rid of him. But I'm saying like cancel culture of people that are innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like some people said some dumb shit. Everybody say dumb shit all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
People
get
like
told
I say dumb
you don't
shit every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed of it. I'm human being as anybody else. You know, I'm not ashamed of being human. I make mistakes every day, but it's just
Yeah.
to really ruin someone's life, to really cancel, like
Ruin their
to get him
life.
quit. I mean, listen, like some people like rely on their jobs a lot, you know, like if you work for a big company, for example, and most of your revenue comes from that company, you get fired. Yeah, for sure. Like your life is ruined. But I'm saying like people that just want to go through the end, it's like, yeah, that guy's horrible. Like, we don't, I agree with Daryl. Like cancel culture is toxic, and it's not something that people should like
I think
do.
it doesn't matter if it is or not. It just is, because the thing is, at the end of the day, who fired James Gunn? Was it the masses? It was the company.
It was a
The
company. Yeah.
company is a private company. They have no obligation to fulfill any demands by people.
Well, yeah, you have some obligation if you want to stay running.
None.
Yeah, man, if they go out of
None.
business. Like,
Okay, I'll give you a better one. Amber Heard. You know about Amber Heard. And
Yeah.
allegedly, she is a terrible person.
Yeah.
A completely terrible person. Nothing has happened to her.
Yeah.
Her career is ongoing.
Yeah.
And yet she is being canceled by people. People hate her. Companies do not care. They do not
These companies work with money. That's
any kind of morality. It's a choice. It's a business decision made by the people within the business. So it's still all just in a private company. So they have no obligation. So I don't think that equating the climate being a lot of people are butthurt about having once been told they were controversial or speaking out of line, and then they're going to forever take it to their grave that, oh, our freedom of speech is being attacked by this evil demon called cancel culture that's just popped up in the last 10 years. It's those SJWs, they created it. It's this beast that's eating everything in the social space. You know, no, it's always existed. It's just people getting angry, the mob.
Yeah, but the problem is nowadays the mob is interconnected throughout the internet.
But it's not a new thing. It's
yeah, but not well in terms of in terms of the gravity, it is quite a new thing.
I don't think so.
So like say an entire nation versus an entire world going up against you. There's no difference.
Yes, they beheaded a king.
Yeah,
that's been a thing in history.
Yeah,
mobs have been far more violent before.
Now imagine that, but a worldwide scale, a worldwide scale. So in that prospect, say France or whatever, decapitated a king. Mm-hmm. The rest of the people, the king, well, right, the king's dead, right? So that the whole news happens in that little region, and it slowly traverses the seas throughout. You know, I don't know how many days, years, months. Now you have the whole world decapitating you. So it's not the nation now. It's not France. It's the entire fucking world saying, okay, yo, everywhere you go, you're fucked.
I don't think that's a fair comparison, because A, no one's getting decapitated. B, people could have known. But if you're Amber Heard and you go to Taiwan, who gives a fuck about you in Taiwan?
Yeah.
Well,
who gives a fuck? So that's the thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of people send the money
about you.
Aquaman went fucking high up in Asia, so I mean, you know, I guess a lot of people in Taiwan.
A lot of people like her there.
You might be recognized, yeah.
That's the whole thing.
So no, I don't think there's anything new about cancel culture. I think people are getting like tied up in getting their panties in a twist over the internet being the internet.
Well, yeah,
I think it's all just history again, whether it's good or bad.
Oh, well, the problem is now it's hard for them to get jobs.
Yeah, because it's permanently now on the internet. Huh?
So say for example, you want to be a journalist, and then your entire name gets completely shut down. It's like, oh, fuck it, cancel culture.
Yep. Don't think you'll be as credible now.
But the thing is, that's why I feel like it's super like, I don't know, the whole mob mentality is such a toxic thing. It's just like, why the fuck, like.
But that's always been like it's whether you think that the mob is correct or not, or that should mobs be regulated? Should the government shut people up?
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you want to live in Russia or China? I mean, fair enough if you do this choice.
Western Siberia
If
here.
you wanna live in an authoritarian system, that's okay. No mob there, I suppose, or the only mobs are the ones being killed. So yeah, here I wouldn't say that it's like it's as free as we think it is, but it's more libertarian rather than authoritarian. Well, less
Well,
authoritarian.
yeah, to a degree, yes, it is. It is.
In that sense, we let
Yes. Yeah.
free roam around with their guns and do whatever they
It's a
want.
passive aggressive form of totalitarian.
But at the same time, like, you know, it's not just it's just people being too critical. You know what I'm saying? Like people like
being people, but
I know, but just people are like too critical nowadays. You know, it's just if somebody says something stupid, like I don't know, like hey, why do certain people have smaller eyes? You know, like it's just something stupid like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying as an
Yeah, it's
example.
actually
You
a
know,
big thing actually. It's fucking hilarious.
yeah, it is stupid. It's something stupid, but it's just like some people just say that just out loud and they tweet it, and like there's like a barrage of comments just nailing on him, and the guy's like probably some like 14-year-old kid, bro, that doesn't know what he's saying,
yeah,
and he's
so
just
maybe
some immature
having
like.
kids on the internet isn't a good thing.
But I'm saying my point is that everybody makes mistakes, whether they're young, they're old. We shouldn't base their life on that mistake. We shouldn't base
True.
their personality, their character, and how they will contribute to society, whether it's through a job or whatever,
I
teaching,
agree
whatever
with
you want to
that.
do. Because the thing is, like a 14-year-old kid's gonna grow up to be like a 20-year-old, a 25-year-old, 30-year-old. You know, if it's going to be carried with him, it's going to affect him in his job and his careers and stuff, and maybe even finding a partner, like even that could be affected. You know what I'm saying? Like why would you go out with someone that said something like this back in the day? You know what I'm saying? I'm putting myself in the shoes of a person, you know.
Well, also it's kind of like, oh, I want to be with that person because he has all that clout.
Exactly. Like it's gonna bring
People
all
who
that
get
negative
canceled
energy into my life as well.
Yeah,
massively popular. You guys also know that, right?
that's what I'm
True.
saying because my whole
But
thing is with the whole Jake Paul thing where he's basically being like not idolized.
Any press
Oh,
in
Any
or
platform.